I'm just not ready for the God Valley flashback to be over. I'm not ready to lose Rocks. I love it here. I don't want to. Can we get a spin-off chapter arc series with the Rocks pirates and their interaction with the Roger pirates? Because clearly there's a connection between Roger and Rocks that was not fully explored, and we need more of it. And I need just more of the Rocks pirates because I'm not ready to be done with them. I realize we need to get into the Harold's issue and how all this is setting to lead up to Harold's death and what was in that treasure chest that was stolen the day he died. And was it the Gum Gum fruit? Was it something else? I still don't want to leave God Valley. But we start off with, again, what I find most interesting of recent events within the last, 2 chapters. And that's going to be Rocks reaching out through what we're presuming to be the voice of all things. And I haven't had a chance to go back through all the times it was brought up in the series yet, but I feel like this is the first time that someone has communicated with the voice of all things to other people. We've heard it from the Sea Kings. I think Odin heard it in the Poneglyph. Or no, that's not Odin. Roger heard it in the Poneglyph. We had Zunisha, connecting Momo and Luffy, but I feel like that was more Zunisha's power to use the voice of all things to communicate. So I want to know if there's something with the Davy clan that allows them to actually use the voice of all things rather than just hear the voice of all things. I'm very, very, very interested in that. The fight continues. Destruction of the island. By the end of this, God Valley is going to be unrecognizable. So the 2 giant people, we lost one of them and now we lose the other at the end of this. So if we were to randomly come across the God Valley Islands, it would unrecognizable. I want to say it's in the West Blue. Yes, West Blue. And the fact that Oda drew attention to that, the fact that this is the location this happened, I wonder if that will be relevant. Will we leave the Grand Line to New World and all that, to go outside to the other blues and have to do something out there and end up at the West Blue? God Valley? I don't feel like God Valley would be that important to the current storyline, but who knows? They could be using an abandoned island that's been wiped out from that for more sketchy stuff. That seems like something that would likely be happening. But we have the Rocks Pirates officially being gone. What is it, Silver's Axe or something like that, who only came up in this flashback. We introduced him. He had a good moment, introduction to joining the Rocks Pirates. So I feel like he's going to have to come into play later on in the series. But he's just kind of dumb because it's we gotta get out of here. Let's steal a ship. And another pirate is just well, what about the Rocks ship? It's the Rocks Pirates are done. They're disbanded. Let's go. It's it's a perfectly good ship. Okay, you can steal the ship and change the flag. I'm just saying. All right, small apologies to Silver's Axe. He might not be an idiot because it's either him or Shiki or both of them saying that they're not going back to the Rocks ship, but also they could be saying we're not meeting up with the crew, so there's no point circling back to a ship that's further away. Let's steal a closer ship because the crew is disbanded. So fine, might not be an idiot. Everyone's running off the island. Garp gives orders to the Marines to go on without him. He'll meet them at sea. Same thing with Roger. Take off, get away from the shore. I will meet you out there. Of course, Gaban and Rayleigh do not listen, thank God, because by the end of this, someone's going to need to haul Roger and Garp off the island. They're not going to be able to move. Roger and Garp have a temporary truce. They're fighting Rocks. Nothing is getting through. The hockey is canceling each other out. Everything they're putting in is getting, neutralized. Meanwhile, Glorioso ends up with, I think it was Gaban, and it's just hey, nice ship you got there. Mind if I join? And I'm Glorioso is going to end up with the Roger Pirates. I did not expect that. Was I supposed to know that? I'm bad with remembering sometimes when random little details were said. But I love the idea of her temporary going on with that. Roger's going to end up dropping her off at Amazon Lily or something after a week. He's we gave you a ride, goodbye. Everybody is meeting up with everybody because Whitebeard, my beloved, is crossing paths with Polo, who we're assuming is Marco's dad. Not gonna lie, I was really, really hoping the Phoenix Fruit, that random little panel from previous chapters, was actually Marco. He grows older, and if he dies, he's reborn as the younger self when he first ate the devil fruit, something like that. I knew it was very unlikely, but I was liking that theory. But no, we meet Polo, and he's there with Whitebeard, offers him a place on his crew, to which Whitebeard rejects, but I can see them being friends, and then eventually him taking on his son, just like he'll eventually take on Rock's son and get betrayed, where Marco is perfectly loyal. I need Marco and Blackbeard to interact more right now. What happens next? Kaido and Linlin, they get into their confrontation. They're splitting up, going different ways. Big Mom is just like, you owe me a life debt now. And he's like, oh, you lost fair and square. I ate that devil fruit. I owe you nothing. I'm going to start my own pirate crew with blackjack and hookers and conquerors hockey and power means all. And that's, yeah. Now, I did realize something else. So there was one character, and he's got a little ghost next to him, like Perona's Devil Fruit, very similar. And we had Kid's Devil Fruit with Captain John. And now we had the Devil Fruit of Whitebeards with the Quake Fruit. And I don't know if we definitely know Darkness Devil Fruit. We didn't see Blackbeard use that. But the idea that a bunch of the Devil Fruits that we've seen have been here on God Valley. So it leads me to think, like, is Kid going to be involved? No, I don't think he's dead. I think, Shanks faked his death and made him join an underground undersea army. But, also, same thing with our beloved Ptolemy while we're at it. But, like, Perona's Devil Fruit, is she going to play a role? Blackbeard took, Whitebeard's Devil Fruit. Does he need it for his plan? Were all the devil fruits that could have been used to take down Eam already on this island and they just failed to line up properly? Whereas in the future, these devil fruits will all come into play to take him down. The echoes of God Valley spreading across the world will come back together and attack, and this time lead to a different outcome. On the one hand, though, I don't like the idea of if these were all, like, blood lineages. So, like, I don't want that random guy with the Ghost Devil Fruit to be like Perona's father. I could almost do without Marco's dad being here. I feel like we're too much blood lineages. I just like inheritance of will through personality and goals and ideas rather than bloodlines. But not an actual complaint. I do like the idea of all these devil fruits being here, and I want to see how they will play new roles in the future. Best Boy Dragon ends up pulling a gun on his superior officer, hijacking a boat and saying, we're getting these innocent civilians out of here. We will save them. He failed to save an innocent baby, as far as he knows. So he's going to save whoever he can. He hasn't saved one person yet, so he's going to save these people. And the other Marines are just looking in shock, no one thinking of interfering at all. Hopefully, because they agree with him. And his commanding officer's like, you're done, Dragon. It's like, you're not going to get away with this. And he's like, bring it on. I will fight the world. And he's going to go create the precursor to the Revolutionary Army. I forget their name right now. And I love that. Contrast to his father, who is on the ground, beat to a pulp, and Roger is just like, hey, why don't you come join my crew? And Garp is just like, who will protect the Marines then? I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and be like, the Marines can't fight this kind of monster, this kind of threat. If something was to come after the world, I need to be here with the Marines to protect them against strong fights, so the Marines as a whole can protect the innocent. If he still thinks this is an innocent, no, he's seen the devastation. He's seen what he's protecting. He's seen the corruption. Why is he still with the Marines? Garp. Damn, complex characters. And here's what I mean by Roger and Rox having some other connection or history together that I really want to learn about. They are standing up to this form of Rox, and Roger is talking about how he thinks something has begun through, but not as much as it should, and the only way is through full mass, like not giving up, just giving it all, willing to wipe yourself out. And it's like, we're all gonna be done afterwards, but we gotta try. So he teams up with Garp. They both unleash their ultimate attack. Garp is throwing punches. Roger uses something ace, and it is enough, thankfully, to bring him down. However, just before that, Rox is just like, I can feel your frustration, Rox. I don't know if there's anything that I can say to comfort you. And then before he goes his attack, like, this is no time for tears. Like, is he taking down a former best friend or something? I want to know more about their history. And then we have, of course, the narrator going over as Rox falls, and I'm sad. I'm not ready to lose Rox. But let's get exactly what the narrator says. We get Eam still possessing Saturn with the creepy eyes and all that. But he's not coming out of his back. He's not in full spider mode. Or maybe he's just communicating through mind or something. So we are in the West Blue. And then the records kept by G11 and CP6 concerning the top secret level S special mission on God Valley are sparse. The names of the participants of the human hunt were purged. Little is recorded regarding the site of the incident, God Valley. Information regarding the island's whereabouts, size, and population were also purged. The number of casualties remain unknown to this day. The world government tried their best to bury this incident in the shadows, however. The disbanding of the chaotic crew led by Rox D. Zebek would leave an undeniable echo. The Rox pirates destabilized an entire era, and the tremors of their legacy would continue to shake the world. So the echoes of God Valley, saving Shanks, who led to inspiring Luffy, the conversation between Big Mom and Kaido, which again challenged Luffy. The treasure that went out into the world of pirates and could probably lead to the One Piece. This could be some of the treasure that is accumulating. There are so many little things that had to happen to change the mindset of people, to change how they would act, that will eventually lead to the destruction of Eam. It got to. But that is all I got. I will talk to you later.